Hi, everyone.
I'm Ray. No, I'm Ray.
I'm Ray.
She's Alyssa. Whatever. And this month, we've been talking about what it means to be a disciple. A disciple is anyone who follows, learns from, and lives for Jesus. And one of. Could you please stop doing that? Anyway, it's time to rehearse the verse. You were supposed to copy me on that one.
Oh, sorry. Rehearse the verse. Today's verse is found in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Say it like this. 1 Corinthians 11, 1. Follow my example, just as I follow the example of Christ. Okay, now I'm going to say it, and this time you're going to copy me.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are they ready?
They are definitely ready.
Okay. 1 Corinthians 11, 1.
1 Corinthians 11, 1.
Follow my example, just as I follow the example of Christ.
Just as I follow the example of Christ. Great job. Okay. So following Jesus is a great way to become closer to him. But following others who follow Jesus is also a great way. The Bible says. Why are you doing that?
I'm following you.
Okay, but that doesn't mean you have to be a copycat. You're a follower of Jesus as well. So you don't have to do it the way I do it.
I just think you're a great example, Ray.
Aw, thanks.
Oh, I heard you guys trying to copy each other. And I have something just for this occasion.
Hi?
What's that?
Apparently we're watching this.
Mike's Log, Entry 1. I've begun to notice that Luke is a very effective crew member. Efficient, disciplined, diligent, and other words I had to look up in the dictionary. Really, everything a space engineer is supposed to be. And me? Not so much. But today is the day that I've decided to change all that. I'm going to start following Luke and adopting his various mannerisms and habits. Hopefully, this will begin to shape me into the crew member I know I can be. But first, 5 more minutes of mic time. Mike's Log. I've come to realize that most of Luke's tasks are checking if things are safe, and then writing stuff down on a clipboard of his. This is going to be easier than I thought. Mike's Log. This is going to be harder than I thought. Turns out those numbers he writes down are safety codes. And there are a lot of them. Like almost all the numbers there are. And better yet, he seems to have them all memorized. Hooray. Mike's Log. I've taken Luke's hair into consideration. It's short, clean cut, ideal for space. However, I think I'll keep my hair the same, for 2 reasons. A, I like my hair how it is, and 2, if Luke and I had the same haircut, kids might have trouble telling us apart. Mike's Log. I think Luke has figured out that I've been copying him, because he started to do some really hard exercises. Is he trying to get me to quit? Or is he just messing with me?
Oh, no. Why?
I'm just messing with you, dude.
Oh,
So you gonna tell me why you've been copying me all day?
what's that? Oh, this is nice. I haven't been just copying you. I've been copying the good example that you set.
Well, hey, I appreciate that, but I've had to redo some of my jobs because they're only meant to be done once.
Oh.
Besides, there's a better way you could spend your time if you want to copy someone.
I could copy Jesus.
Yeah, that's right. Here, I'll show you.
Hey, I live down here now.
Ever since Jesus called his first disciples, they left everything to learn from him and to live for him. Watch this.
This is his 66 picks mixed up into one. The book's about God, who he is and what he's done. It's the Holy Bible, y'all, with God's truth packed tight inside. It's alive, a prize to hide in your heart and in your mind. Old Testament's a setup for the big event, when Jesus crashed the scene with a new arrangement. It's history, his story, whose story, God's story. Oh, the story of how much he loves me. Let it blow up all the pages, let this show go live. Let his word explode from this video into your life.
One day, as Jesus was preaching on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, a big crowd of people gathered. As the crowd grew, the people pressed closer and closer to Jesus.
Jesus saw 2 empty boats at the water's edge. The fishermen had left and were washing their nets.
Jesus stepped into one of the boats. It belonged to Simon and his brother Andrew.
Simon? Don't you mean Peter?
Well, later Jesus gives Simon a new name and calls him Peter, but that hasn't happened yet, so in this story, his name is still Simon.
Got it. So where were we? Oh yeah, Jesus asked Simon to take him out on the water away from the shore.
Right, and Simon did it. Jesus sat in the boat away from the shore and taught the crowds from there. When Jesus finished teaching, he said,
"Go out where it is deep and let down your nets to catch some fish."
We worked hard all night and didn't catch a thing, but if you say so, I'll let down the nets again.
Simon and Andrew let down their nets, and this time, when they pulled the nets out of the sea, they were so full of fish they began to tear. They called out to their friends who owned the other boat.
Guys, bring your boat over here. You're not going to believe this.
James, John, and their father Zebedee brought their boat over. Soon, both boats were so full of fish, they almost sank.
The fishermen were amazed. They knew Jesus had performed a miracle right in front of them. Simon fell to his knees.
He was in awe. Simon saw how powerful Jesus was and knew he must have been sent by God.
Oh Lord, please leave me. I don't deserve to be near you. I have disobeyed God.
Don't be afraid. From now on, you'll be fishing for people.
Jesus meant that from that day forward, they would be telling people everywhere about Jesus and his power, and because of that, many would choose to follow Jesus.
When they got back to shore, Simon and his brother Andrew decided to follow Jesus.
Their friends, James and John, left their boat with their father so they could follow Jesus too.
Those 4 fishermen left everything behind so they could follow Jesus' example.
They learned about Jesus, spent time with him, and discovered how to do everything the way Jesus did.
And that's how Simon,
also known as Peter,
along with Andrew, James, and John, became Jesus' very first disciples.
So you see, if you're going to be a copycat, then you should copy Jesus. Now, that does not mean to wear a robe or grow a beard or anything like that. It just means to behave like Jesus did.
Mike is acting just like Luke. This seems similar, though also different from today's point. Say it with me, friends, in 3, 2, 1. Disciples copy Jesus. Very good. I wonder how successful Mike will be at his goal.
Mike's log. I've begun to adopt Luke's dietary habits. One would think he is a rabbit based solely on the kinds of foods that he eats. And I know it's good for us, but I feel like it drains the pizzazz from my life. I miss gummy bears so much. I miss gummy bears so much. However, I have begun to notice some things. I feel like I have more energy throughout the day, and I just feel better, healthier, and more productive. Being like Luke has indeed helped me do my job better. And yet, I've come to realize taking care of the station is not my only job. I've also been tasked with spreading the good news about Jesus. And while Luke may be pretty good at that, I can think of a better person to copy. And no, it's not the room.
To the room.
Hello, Mike. How can I help you?
Well, Room, I've been copying what Luke does, and it's made me a better crew member.
That is great news.
But my next task is to become a better disciple. And I know you're supposed to copy Jesus, but how do I do that? See, Jesus' disciples had it so easy because they got to see Jesus every day, but how do I copy someone I can't see?
That's exactly why we have 4 different accounts of what Jesus did while he was living his life here on earth.
Right, the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in the Bible.
Yes, and if you truly wish to be more like a disciple, you can also follow the example of other disciples who are close to Jesus.
1 Corinthians 11:1. Follow my example, just as I followed the example of Christ. Well, that won't be too hard. I have 3 great disciples to follow.
But don't forget, Mike, the best example to follow is Jesus himself.
Right, because I'm a disciple. Disciples copy Jesus. That's the point. Disciples copy Jesus. Thanks, Room. I've got some copying to do.
You're welcome, Mike.
Mike's log. More intently than ever, I'm diving into the words so I can live how Jesus lived. I've decided against copying everything Luke does, although I haven't given up his good habits. This seems to have made him glad. After all, this week's point is disciples copy Jesus, not disciples copy Luke, because that would be weird. And although I expect that copying Jesus will bring hardships along the way, I also feel confident that it will change me for the better. Mike's final log.
What did we just watch?
Well, Mike copied Luke because he wanted to be more like him, and that's what you do whenever you want to be more like someone.
You copy them?
Exactly. And as disciples, the one we copy the most is Jesus. Like today's point.
Disciples copy Jesus. So, hypothetically speaking, if I wanted to be a princess, I would just copy what a princess does.
In theory, but we aren't princesses. We're disciples. And just like the Bible says, disciples can follow other disciples too. So,
let's say the verse together?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 Corinthians 11:1. Follow my example, just as I followed the example of Christ.
And this week, make sure that you're not copying behavior that could set a bad example. Instead, copy Jesus.
Okay, so let's say I wanted to be a princess and a disciple. Half princess, half disciple. I'd be a principal. Wait, what?
Mike's log. Today I learned that I need to copy Jesus, and that doesn't mean growing a beard, that means growing godly behavior. I am a disciple, and disciples copy Jesus. I found that following Jesus has made me a better person. And if there's anyone out there listening that wants to make that decision today, just remember your ABCs.
A, admit. Admit that you've done wrong and ask God to forgive you for disobeying him. B, believe. Believe God sent Jesus to take the punishment for your sin. Trust that you're forgiven because Jesus made you right with God. C, choose. Choose to spend your whole life depending on God's power to help you say no to sin. As you live and love like Jesus, tell others God is the leader of your life and your number one friend. Choosing to